Hello everyone, this is Korith Landwalker, and this afternoon we have another exciting experience in Star Citizen. As you may or may not be aware, and if you've been watching my streams you should be aware by now, we are having an Invictus Flight Week starting next week. This means if you do not have an account with Star Citizen, now is a good time, because you don't even have to pledge for a package to be able to try the game out, try out some of the ships, take a look around, that sort of thing. And if you don't have an account, I'm going to do a little bit of shilling here because I'm a horrible human being. If you don't have an account, go ahead and use the link here in the chat window here, which will use my referral code. And if you end up pledging because you love the game so much, you will also get a free Aurora ES with a lifetime insurance associated with it. Now, the Aurora ES is not exactly what you would call a great starship, but the lifetime insurance means that you can upgrade it to a better ship somewhere along the line. And that will be in addition to whatever you buy as your main package anyway, so hey, give it a look. Hey, Legend Eternal, how are you doing this afternoon? Hope all is well on your end of the monitor. Now, in addition to the festivities today, you will have the opportunity to see whether or not the Pfizer vaccine's second shot is capable of driving me insane during this stream. So far, I have not encountered any horrible side effects aside from the usual ache in the arm sort of thing. But, you know, you never know. I might start hallucinating at any time. Procrastinating on cutting the yard. I get that. I get that. I don't have to worry about that because I live in a condo complex, so no yard work for me. I just have other issues. In any event, getting back to Invictus, it starts on May 21st, so, and it'll go on through the beginning of June, June 1st, as shown on the screen here very helpfully. The first day will have the manufacturers RSI, Consolidated Outland, Argo Astronautics, and Origin Jump Works, and they will be showcasing their military hardware. It also means that those ships will be available for purchase on the RSI website and for free flight on those days. Then, in sequence, over every 2 days, they swap manufacturers. You have Aegis Dynamics the next period. The good stuff will be on the 25th and 26th, Crusader Industries and Tumbril, along with MISC, and that's because Crusader will have available their brand spanking new Crusader Starlifters, and Tumbril will have its brand spanking new Nova Tank. And it's rounded out the next day, well, the next pair of days with Anvil Aerospace. Oh, yeah, and then there's this other manufacturer that wasn't invited to Invictus, but they're having their own thing on the 29th and 30th. We don't talk about those garbage ships on the 29th and 30th, despite what Legend Eternal there would like to believe. And a big finale where presumably everything will be available to fly, I'm guessing, on the 31st and the 1st. So, because of the timing of my streams will have Invictus for the 21st, well, the 22nd technically. Heh, the only one with the color icon because it's the best. Yeah, you keep dreaming there. Don't stop dreaming. However, I do have to admit, sadly, that the second of my Invictus streams does fall on DrakeCon, DefenseCon, whatever the heck they call it. So I will, because I believe in my viewers, I will suck it up and demo Drake vessels on that stream. It hurts, but I will go the extra mile. And man, it will hurt. Okay, now, the funny thing about Invictus, in a very strange way, a few weeks back, I celebrated my 1-year stream anniversary on Twitch. But Invictus, in a way, represents the 1-year anniversary of when I attempted to stream Star Citizen. I generally don't talk about those streams, however, because, well, at the time I was still learning the OBS software and its bit transfer rate and its various settings, and let's say I was not horribly proud of the way those streams came out. Horrible frame rate doesn't even begin to describe it. I was seeing things fine on my gaming monitor, but it was less appealing, shall we say, when I look back on the actual game stream. Well, that was painful. We're all perpetually learning OBS. Yeah, and it helps that I'm not doing anything crazy. I mean, I'm doing everything on a one computer setup. I stream on the same computer that I'm playing on. So I don't have to worry about trying to make a second computer that's a streaming computer work with the stuff on my gaming computer. Now, it does mean that, my computer is working a little harder as a result. But on the other hand, I have not gone completely insane. I'm also using only one monitor, which is one of the reasons why you'll occasionally hear the sound in the game cut out, because I've had to Alt-Tab to the streaming software or something else, and the game isn't therefore doing its music and all that, and therefore you can't hear it. That's why it's cutting out. You still see the game, but yeah, you use two monitors, and that's something I'm kicking around. I just don't have the desk space for a second monitor at this time. However, I am doing some consideration on rearranging things, especially if I end up getting a new printer, where I might be able to put it on a different spot, which will free up some space to put a cheapo monitor, and then I'll be able to have, shall we say, less interrupted audio. At least that's the theory. Whether or not it works out that way, well, as the little green man would say, always in motion, the future. Okay, enough of the babbling and me laying down on the job. Let's try to do something entertaining, shall we? I am presently at Everest Harbor. I'm pretty sure I'm at Everest Harbor. I'm usually at Everest Harbor when I'm logging off in a space station because I like Hurston. You can do lots of stuff at Hurston. So it feels right. And I thought that with the 3.13.1 patch literally coming sometime this week, because they have to, they need to put in for Invictus. That means new patch, and that means the new ships will be around, so we can expect the big patch to come, well, semi-big patch to come sometime in the next week. Could be Friday, could be earlier. I don't know how much advance notice they're going to bother with that sort of thing, but I would expect they're going to try to get as much testing time as they possibly can. Let's see. Legend and Cap tried to land an 890 jump on the Bengal in the public test universe last night, and it didn't end well. Well, maybe you were using a ship that was too big. Or did they shoot you down? I think I've seen some videos where the Bengal took it personally. Streamers have been having fun with that Bengal. I'll take a moment to expand upon that. It is by now widely known that during the Invictus tour that the capital ships will be doing, they will be joined by a ship not previously seen in the game. The Bengal, which is the largest spaceship in the game, period. And despite what some people would love to have happen, it is not going to be available for purchase. Which is good, because I don't even want to think about how many people you need to crew that thing. You did successfully dock an 890 at Everest, though. Well, that's a good thing. Then, in that case, you should be able to dock Merlins into Andromedas with no, well, constellations with no trouble whatsoever. Okay, I think we're going to take a quick trip down to Lorville, because that's where I have the ship I plan to start the afternoon. We'll just take a relatively small and unassuming starship, or at least as small and as unassuming as any starship from Origin would be, the 300i. Pad 3 it is. Thank God they put the pad numbers next to the name of the ship now, because it would be annoying to have to go back to the terminal and look again. It's also good because my short-term memory sucks anymore, and if I'm concentrating on anything other than where I've parked my ship, I will forget what pad it's on, and then I'm standing in the elevator thinking, okay, where do I go? But thankfully, that is no longer a problem. I have other problems, like the fact that the elevator takes forever. But as I've mentioned on any number of occasions, can you really say it takes forever when it's covering kilometers at a time? Must have proper expectations. Any faster than that, and the passenger would probably turn into be jelly. And I don't think we are really set up for player characters looking like piles of jelly after an elevator ride. That should be something they put into force effects. How far are we? Are we getting anywhere close? 500 meters and counting. Alright, we're almost there. I feel bad taking the 300i because, you know, Origin will be on the first of my Invictus streams, and one of the 300 series does tend to be related to military hardware. So that's probably one of the ones I'll be on the showroom floor. But there will be plenty of possibilities to choose from on day one of Invictus, so using the baseline model of the 300 doesn't particularly bother me. 300 is a nice, quiet touring ship. Nothing fancy, nothing exotic. It's a ship you can go touring with that can land pretty much anywhere. I mean, the bigger a ship is, the harder you're going to find a place to land. That's just the way the planets are built. If I were to land somewhere on Hurston at any random place, I might have trouble finding a place to solidly land, say, at 890 or a Carrack or even a Constellation. There are places where even freelancers and cutlasses have trouble. The smaller you go, the easier it is to find a relatively flat surface to land upon. So in light of that, having a relatively small ship for a touring ship is not a bad thing. Now, ordinarily, I would just quantum jump my way down to the Hurston area, well, to Lorville. But because I like to be entertaining sometimes, we are going to just go there the hard way. Burn right in directly from Everest. Oh, let's get that landing gear up. Oh, that was kind of weird. Did I accidentally hit the wrong button? No, everything's good. Everything's cool. At any rate, Origin 300 series design is a pretty nice design. I mean, it looks like the kind of ship that the well-to-do individuals would want to fly. Clean lines, very rich looking. A fun fact is that, theoretically, the 300 designs can be customized if you pledge for them on the RSI site. You can change the exterior color, the seats, the console, a lot of stuff you can change on it, including, here we go, the fun part, entering atmosphere. You can even include little luxuries inside, like a coffee maker or a food processor. Only the coffee maker works at the moment. But, you know, they're cheap little cosmetic things. However, I do feel the need to warn people that if you choose to do the customization thing, that at the moment, there's a bug and they're not actually translating through properly. Hopefully that'll be fixed with the 13.1 patch, but there's no real way to know. I guess there is a real way to know if you're doing the public testing of this stuff and reading up on it, but I have never done any of the customization options for those 300 stuff. So I can't give any advice one way or the other. Maybe somewhere along the line I'll decide to do that, but I'm not at that point at this time. I have bigger fish to fry. Alright, we have gotten past the upper atmosphere, and now we are descending very rapidly to the surface. And the fact that I can do this, I think, is a testament to the game design. I mean, in most games, you would probably have to go through an instance or something, and you wouldn't be able to go from a space station down to the planet in one go. At least most of the games I've played. I mean, some games would probably be able to have the tech to pull it off. Warcraft would do it because they've got continents that you can go from one end to the other and not have a loading screen visible. This is close to that kind of scale. It might be bigger, but it's hard to say because we're moving so much faster than someone runs or rides or flies in Warcraft. Just saying. And now things are getting a little harder to control. I'm going to cut the speed down, particularly in light of the fact that I am 9,000 meters and closing insanely rapidly. And I do not want to wreck. We're going to save wrecking for later. So, from Everest Harbor down to Lorville. No load screens required. Came from the planet all the way down to the, well, from upper orbit to down to the surface. Or maybe it's lower orbit. I'm not entirely sure where the gravity... I'm not a NASA scientist. I don't know this stuff. And the other thing I don't know is why I'm not seeing my landing... Let's try this again. Give me a landing pad. Yes, that's what I want to hear. I must not have hit it right when I did it earlier. Now, the other nice thing about small vessels is they fit a lot better into small docking areas. That way, I might be able to land in here without turning my ship into mush right off the bat. I really need exterior cameras. I mean, I could go into third-person view and all that, but I kind of like being able to do this kind of thing manually. Oh, and there we go, just clipped a wing. Auto land helps, but it can only do so much. The other good thing about being in a small ship is I can rotate like this. If I tried to do an auto land in the Carrot, for example, horrible things would happen. Can't call it in until they call you first. Don't know why the audio and the ATC contacting you disappeared a few patches ago. Well, they do have the stuff in the big red letters, so you know that tends to help sometimes. Alright. Let's get out of this ship so that we can go to the primary point of this little shortcut. Naturally, the landing bay exit is on the opposite side of the door, because that would make it too easy. just another reason why I hate Hurston's hangar door personnel. And if I ever manage to get a hold of any of the operators there, they are going to have a bad time, Armistice Zone or not. Of course, that said, if I could just get the weapons lock off the guns on the ship, I could probably say, express my satisfaction personally. Alright, the reason we're here. We're going to do a little bit of trading. It's not going to be what you call high profit margins here, but I wanted to do something I hadn't done on a stream for a while, and my Carrack happens to be here in Lorville, so at least in theory is here in Lorville. Whenever they say unknown status, I'm never 100%. Still missed a stoner ATC from Levski. Yeah, I was a big fan of Levski and their people there, and their ATC. I always got the feeling that they were friendly individuals who were happy to see me there. Okay, here's hoping that the big red X is just lying to me. No, it is not. Okay, well, let's try one more time and see if that rattles something loose. If not, I may have to do something I really don't want to do. Come on, Carrack. You know you want to come out. It's not going to come out, is it? Okay, well, looks like I've got hit that magic bug where the ship will not spawn no matter what I do in Lorville. I'm going to have to claim it somewhere else to make it work. However, I'm not a patient guy, which means I have no choice. I have to use the Drake Caterpillar. Why? Why must I fly Drake? Maybe I'll be lucky and it'll be the same boat. Huh. No, I wasn't that lucky. Looks like I ain't going to have to fly a Drake Caterpillar. I mean, I suppose I could have grabbed any number of other ships to do stuff in, but you know, I had my heart set on doing at least one cargo run here, maybe two. And to do a decent cargo run, I need a ship with a decent sized hold. And, well, here we are. So, let me set aside my personal feelings towards Drake Interplanetary, and let's take an objective view of the Drake Caterpillar. Drake is very utilitarian with its ship design. In this case, it's just a big, long set of modules that, for the most part, carries cargo. It has a theoretical detachable command module. It doesn't work. Yet. That said, now that they've got the Merlin and Constellation docking nailed down, who's to say that we might not see the command module finally work as expected someday? Then again, we are talking Drake design, so you can't expect too much out of it. I'm sorry, I was going to be objective. Cleansing breath, cleansing breath. At the moment, the Caterpillar has the second largest cargo hold in the game. I think, well, actually, no, it might have the most at the moment. Carrack is close, but I think it has a little less. But on the other hand, Carrack is designed by, decent manufacturing. Nope, objective. Cleansing breath. However, the King of Cargo is going to be replaced with the next patch when the Starlifters come into play. That said, the Starlifters really are meant to be carrying things other than cargo. but they carry cargo anyway. I would take a tour of the ship, but honestly, I don't want the folks at the Lorville hangars to boot me out. What a beautiful ship. Wasn't the word beautiful supposed to be in quotation marks? We have the familiar Drake seating design, which is to say, barely cushioned. A ship only a Klingon would love. Starlifter doesn't fit well on outpost landing pads. You know, I am not really surprised to see that. I am not surprised to see that. I mean, it's a pretty big ship. It's got to be able to carry 2 tanks. And admittedly, I haven't seen the size of the tanks, but they're roughly the same size as the ballistas, and I've seen those. So, yeah, I am not shocked at all to hear that the Starlifter might have to go too wide. Too wide? Well, that is not what I expected. I mean, I figured it might be length. Width was not what I expected. Oh. Talk about being right for the wrong reasons. Let's get this ship off the ground before the Lorville landing services start complaining about being the hangar. I'm looking forward to giving it a spin in the Persistent Universe. Unfortunately, I will not be streaming the Hercules right away because, well, next week we have Invictus, and it's not going to be Crusader Day. And then the following week it's Defense Con, which again is not Crusader Day. So I will have to content myself with waiting about 3 weeks before I can show on my stream what it's like to fly the Hercules Starlifter. That said, I'm sure as heck not waiting till Wednesday to fly the Starlifter. Too wide to fit the right way, too long to fit sideways, get it down, but it's hell tight. Things to look forward to. Okay, let's see if I can get out without clipping the doors there. There we go. So now we can get a better look at the Caterpillar as we ascend the sky. It's not a horrible design. I mean, I've seen worse designs like Cutlasses. But like I said, it's very utilitarian. Drake isn't about being fancy or showy or anything like that. If they could build the ship off of duct tape and baling wire, they would. They would fail, but they would. Now, additionally, let's take a look at the doors here. Now, as you can see, there's a whole lot of doors that can open here. I don't know if the side doors are supposed to lower. I kind of get the feeling they should be able to. They don't at the moment. And Lorville likes to assign you the smallest hangar possible to get in. Well, yeah, but I'm used to that sort of thing, so, if they want to do cramped landings for the Hercules, I can take it. I've been doing it all along. I know that the front door is supposed to lower to the ground, but again, it doesn't yet. And of course, we have the elevator down there at the bottom, which is how you get in and out of the ship. So, the areas that open up on the sides, that's all cargo area. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 modules that can fit cargo. One of the intentions for the design is for those modules to be swappable. That theoretically you could swap out cargo modules and put in modules for something else. But, as the common refrain of Star Citizen goes, that gameplay does not yet exist. It does have weaponry, which I can't demonstrate at the moment because, I'm in the armistice zone, and they do not want me using weaponry when I'm this close to Hurston, because I would strafe the hell out of it. I regret nothing. The guns are serviceable, let's put it that way. There's a turret access somewhere in the back here. I want to say it's in... Oh, I I can't do that. I can't really mouse a cursor over to show you. Oh, okay, well, you can see me moving guns around at the top. That's the pilot guns. I don't have the gimbals on, so that's why I'm moving it around. I also don't have them locked in position. Let's do that now. Alright, we are 9,000 meters up, which means I am, oh, higher than that, technically. Which means now I can choose a destination. And one of the ever-popular destinations in this area is the moon of Ariel. Now, one of the problems I have with great ships is that they have the lousy 2D radar, which I hate. I mean, I can make use of them and all, but I still hate them. I'm a much bigger fan of the ships with the 3D radar. Uncouple, spin it around, and the caterpillar will chew up whatever's chasing you. Yeah. Does it have decent maneuvering thrusters? Because I would imagine that the maneuvering thrusters would kind of make the deal there. Well, that's easy enough to find out. I'll uncouple. Well, fast it is not. Like, at all. But then again, it may not need to be. Okay, let's recouple. Let's see, do I have an indicator on how big the guns are on here? Well, M4s and M5A cannons. Cannons are pretty respectable weapons. They don't have any ammo, which means they're energy. Yeah, if you can hit the targets, they will certainly cause serious injury to a pursuer. And I don't really know what the guns for the turret are. Let me see. Where's my power buttons? They should be able to give me an idea. M5, M4, M5, M4, M5, M5. Okay, so they're still pretty good sized weapons, even on the turrets. No missiles. Come on, you're carrying cargo. You don't want to waste space on missiles. Alright. Now, as many traders are going to tell you right now, trading is borked. I'm not 100% certain that I agree with that. Certainly, if you're looking to make huge profits by carrying full caterpillars of the most valuable... 4-size-3s? Okay, maybe I'm seeing the other ones on the gun list. If you're looking at the most valuable ores in caterpillar quantities, then yeah, trading is borked. That just means, though, that you have to consider trading on the margins, for lack of a better phrase. You can't expect to make obscene profits based on value. You're basically making money on volume. A small load of aluminum will get you a small amount. A huge load of aluminum will get you a substantially bigger amount. Now, the downside is that you are risking your money for, well, that's really true for any cargo. Because if you have a server crash, the cargo is gone. And if the cargo is gone, so is the money you spent to buy the cargo. There was a time when trading was pretty much the highest risk profession in the game, because 30Ks were a lot more frequent last year, for example. It took nerves of steel and bottomless wallets to be able to do trading to any real extent. But the 30Ks aren't as bad at the moment. Why, yes, I did just slap fate around across the face repeatedly. Yeah, PTU has trading alerts that come into the Moby Journal. Shows surpluses and shortages of different materials at different locations. You're absolutely right, Legend. I did see that on somebody's stream or YouTube video or something. I was watching something. And I did notice that. And I thought that was a great idea to a certain extent. But the downside, of course, is that every single trader is going to be paying attention to that. So the surpluses and shortages, the windows of opportunity on those are going to be very, very small. The bulk traders are still going to own the road, so to speak. I think that's what's going, in order for trading to really kick it up a notch, to go up a level here, is for more star systems to go in the game. And of course, that means server meshing too. Because the more you spread them out, that means the more possibilities you have of cargo, types of cargo, all over the place. We'll add some variety to trading instead of doing the same routes over and over. That's true. You won't have the huge Laranite runs all the time. You might have folks say, hey, this is a big one. Let's get this and send it over to whoever has the shortage. And so forth. Or you might be able to get really cheap cargo for places that have huge surpluses. And if you're willing to wait, you might get it to a place that has a shortage. So I think that's a great idea. I like the idea of the alerts showing up in the journals. I imagine at some point they'll have their own dedicated MFD or something. Don't know. Everything is still moving along. Maybe it'll have its own MobiGlass tab. I can see MobiGlass becoming a lot more complicated than it is now someday. Now there's a word any backer of Star Citizen is aware of. Someday. Alright, I am making my approach. I better turn on the lights because I can't see anything on the ground, and I still can't see anything on the ground. Boy, those lights sure did me a lot of good. Soon, trademark. Yes, I am familiar with the expression. Saw that all the time in all sorts of MMOs. Okay, we're going to kill the cruise control so I get a little more personal control. I'm going to slow down the ship because I'm going to be flying an extremely unwieldy vessel from a cockpit that is off-center. I am about 3 kilometers out from the looks of it. Ah, there we go. Must be windy or dusty. We seem to be going into a dust storm here. But I can see the landing area now, although not the specific pads quite yet. I don't want to angle myself too far down because I'd hate to accidentally plow into the planet. Well, moon, technically. Okay, let's bump up the speed a little bit. The Caterpillar is not exactly what you would call a speed demon at SCM speeds. Alright. Oh, and somebody else may be here too. Just for giggles? A freelancer. Tell me that the freelancer isn't hog. No, he's just kind of not sure what he's doing. Okay, I'm flying a big ship, so we're gonna fly and land ourselves here. I sure hope he's not hogging the trade terminal. I mean, I don't care if I get Laranite or not. I mean, I wouldn't mind Laranite, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it either. Okay, we're going to hop into third-person view to make sure that I'm not going to fall off the landing pad. And we are down. Now, another real danger of using the Caterpillar here. Garbage ship. What, you see a cutlass around here? One of the little dangers of flying Caterpillars into places like this is that you always have to think in the back of your head that somebody may try to steal your ship. And because this is a Caterpillar, it is an extremely attractive thing to steal. Which is one of the reasons why I always get the elevator put back up after I leave it. Okay, so far so good. Let's see what's inside. Well, nobody here. I'm a little surprised. Alright then. Let's do our trade, shall we? Laranite is always the big one, but there's probably going to be like piddling here. Oh, I'm surprised. I've got 12 standard cargo units. I'm used to seeing the number 10 more often. You generally like to get, you know, the high value stuff because that way, no matter how narrow the profit margin is, it will still give you a pretty decent profit. Which is why I'll go with titanium next, and ooh, we have a fair amount of titanium here too. Surprised they haven't moved the armistice zone from the outposts yet. Well, you know, it will not shock me if that happens at some point. But I think it would be better if they held off until, you know, they managed to find... Well, let me pull way back in here, because sometimes the trade terminal will be back off on before you're actually done. And we'll fill the... Let's try this again. We will fill the rest with tungsten. Because a lot of these places are the only places where you can pull out ground vehicles, and maybe they're trying to protect that a little bit. Maybe. But honestly, at some point it's probably going to happen. Certainly make escorts more a part of the game. Oh, you aren't kidding. One of the things they tell you for people who are worried about, you know, people blowing up their ships, if they're mining, if they're trading, or anything like that, is hire escorts. And that's going to be part of the game. I mean, you will be taking the risk of having someone blowing up your ship if you fly without an escort. So it's like, either have an escort or be really, really confident in your ability to survive an ambush. That's the whole point behind risk and reward. There was a time when they had bottomless pit of Laranite available here because of a bug that was, shall we say, filling the supply of Laranite to infinity. And there would be people who would be literally camping out here at Bezdek and Lathen so they could blow up traders. And the folks who happened to thrive were the ones who either paid them off or paid escorts to kill the people running such extortion rackets. Now, once you have your cargo, the next step comes with selling it. So we are going to take off and go into the wild blue yonder. Now, you might expect me to go to Lorville. And that would make sense after all, because Lorville is the closest planet that would buy everything in my cargo, and all would be well. I'm not dropping this off at Lorville. I'm going to go a little further afield to Parkour, specifically to Area 18. Now, why would I do this kind of crazy thing? Well, first, I want to claim my Carrack. I want that Carrack available again, and obviously it's not going to be available in Lorville. But secondly, I don't go to Parkour very often for a wide assortment of reasons, and that's really all the reason I need to justify going to Parkour. And it's a pity too, because I like Parkour. It's basically industrial Coruscant from Star Wars, or maybe Trandor from the Asimov's Foundation books. Basically, you won't find any dirt or rivers or anything like that on Artcore. It's basically all built over. Metal on every, well, in every part of the planet that I've seen. All this said, I certainly have never explored all of Artcore in detail. I mean, I've gone to a couple of the other areas on the planet, but there's very few places where you can actually land. They don't have any landing outposts like most of the moons or planets do. Or they don't really have any reason to. Which is all very disappointing, because I really feel you can do a lot with Artcore. But I've never gone to the areas that are, shall we say, out of the way. What are the other areas at Artcore? Artcore does not have any trade consoles. It has no. Let me rephrase that. It has no centralized box delivery areas. There are landing pads at some of the buildings, kind of like what you see at New Babbage. If you do box deliveries at New Babbage, for example, they'll tell you landing pad over somewhere in New Babbage. And they have something like that at these areas. But they weren't really taking advantage of them until relatively recently, and I'm not even sure they will now or not. I thought I had a couple missions which took me to landing pads at some of these areas, and if they did, I think that's great, because Parkour really needs it. But there are no trade terminals that I've seen. So, and that makes sense. I mean, you would think that there would at least be buyers. I can understand that there's no purpose to Area 11, for example. You are absolutely right, unless you happen to be doing a box delivery that takes you to one of the buildings there. Aside from that, nope. No reason. Let's take a quick look at the map of Artcore to get an idea of what you've got here. Area 4, Area 11, Area 20, Area 18, Area 17. Now you may wonder, that's a whole lot of areas that aren't accounted for. Hey, I didn't design the planet, I just fly around there. But you can see, just by looking through the front window here, that we are not looking at a natural environment. I kind of wonder what it's like at the poles. Maybe I'll do that on my way out. But right now, I want to go to Area 18 directly, because it looks like it's still daylight, and it's a lot easier to land at Area 18 when you can see where you're going. We're up. And we're down. Oh, thank heavens. For a minute there, I thought I'd misjudged it, and I was actually heading to the dark side. Now, the other reason why I like it in daylight is a lot easier to find the spaceport. When you drop out of Quantum around Area 18, the first thing that you'll often think of is, where is the spaceport? Well, there is the spaceport. The area that kind of looks almost like an arrowhead, but it also looks more like I don't know. Looks like one of the big guns on the starship. Plus, it has the big words Area 18 emblazoned upon it. It's a relatively flat structure, so if you show up during the daylight and you have trouble seeing anything, look for an area of flat, and that is probably the direction you want to be going. Let's, on that note, aim in that general direction, shall we? There we go. Now at night it becomes difficult, and you have to basically figure the area that seems darker with less lights is probably the spaceport. Yes, I realize that makes no sense whatsoever, because you would think that a spaceport would want to have as many lights as possible so that you know where you're going. But apparently ArcCore does not believe in proper lighting. Come on, guys. Even the freaking Hurston Dynamics building has plenty of lighting. Of course, and plus it's got the big signs for TISA Spaceport and bright lights hovering above the landing area. Alright. Now, the one problem with Area 18 that I've always had is that their autopilot controllers are sadists. And that's not an exaggeration. If you happen to go into an area where they feel the need to take over your ship because you're in one of their restricted zones, you have an excellent chance of being autopiloted into another solid object. Hence, making you explode. Hence, making you, say, for example, lose all the cargo you're carrying. Hence, people swearing off going to ArcCore forever. At least if you're a traitor. So, good times. But even the threat of the evil autopilot operators is not great enough to prevent me from being willing to fly here with a fat load of cargo from a Drake Caterpillar. That could say something about my bravery, or it could say something about how stupid I am. I realize that the two are not mutually exclusive. Alright, we're going to kill the cruise control there, and take manual control of the throttle. Yeah, see, I'm already getting these restricted area warnings. Learn the true meaning of fear. Oh no, the autopilot's on! Don't panic. Luckily, I don't have any actual speed going, so... Oh, but they're making me go with speed. Okay, good. It turned off. Yeah, another bug that's been known to happen is that autopilot turns on and never turns off and sends you right up into the atmosphere, flying away forever. As you might imagine, that would not be good. Alright, so we're going to have to be a little more circumspect with our approach. Come on, don't give me restrict the area ahead. The freaking landing pad's ahead. It's right there! Well, the good news is they have me pointing upwards, so I'm not likely to hit a building. And this is why you still have armistice zones in places like Area 18, because at this point I would probably lose my temper and start opening fire. Okay, guys, look. I want to land. I want to land my ship in the appropriate docking area. I don't think that's much to ask. So let's go straight horizontal here and go to third-person view to help me here. And let's adjust our third-person view a bit, because this is one of those ships that are big enough that I want to make sure I have a good view of how I'm landing it. Now, with my luck, I'll start landing and they'll say, sorry, we need to give your hangar to somebody else because you were too slow. And at that point, I'll have a number of things to say about the hangar door operators that match my feelings towards the Hurston hangar operators. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing down before they close the doors. At least that's one thing that they don't do like the folks at Hurston do. They at least leave their doors open so that you have a chance, just a chance, of landing properly. Okay. Flawless landing. I say that before I've actually landed, of course.
Landing complete.
Here we go. Despite their best attempts, they did not murder me this time.
Engines, systems
Now, I'd like to think of Area 18 as kind of a factory world sort of thing, but... And that might not be far from the truth, actually. Lorville's basically a mining town. It's industrialized, but it's a different kind of industrialized. Parkour is the, I guess, more of a finished industrialized area. Yay! You can close up now. Wasn't sure that would work. So here we are with a fat cargo hold. You know what? Even though it's going to take a little more time here, I feel like I want to show what it looks like when you actually have a full cargo hold on the Caterpillar. So we're going to go back to the bridge, go into third person view and open the exterior again, and I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, we have a habitation area over here with cheap Drake bunks and stuff like that, you know. Drake will spend no expense to spend nothing. It tends to be a nicer area if you don't use your planet to test weapons. I don't think we have a Death Star yet, and you know, they haven't antagonized me enough to try to test my own weapons on them. Alright, let's hop over here. I'll hop on here first. Did I get the thing open? Now let me readjust my... There we go. Pesky camera view. It's only going to help me so much. It's hard to see because of the lighting, but maybe if I go the other way. Yeah, there we go. Let's move it. Let's try to move the camera closer. Ah! Okay, that was probably not the best way to go. Okay, you know what? Let's go out of the ship and we'll take a look at it on the ground. Got beds, got a picnic table. What do you need? Bathrooms. Although, to be fair, the captain does have his own bathroom. Your crew doesn't, but, you know, who cares about your crew anyway? Now, sadly, since I opened the exterior, that also means that the elevator will also lower. Ah, bloody hell. They are not going to make this easy, are they?
Initiating ship storage procedure. For your safety, please vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
Why can I not make it retract?
Initiating ship storage procedure.
Oh, go ahead and store me, people. That's the other reason for the side panels opening. You can pee off the ship. Ladies and gentlemen, the epitome of the Drake pilot right there. I am trapped on my Drake. I cannot escape. Well, I can't escape, but I'll probably break... Oh, hell with it, why not? Ah! Okay, that wasn't nearly as painful as I thought it would be. So before they store this stupid thing, let's take a look at the sides here. So you can see we've got just stack after stack after stack of cargo. Turn on my little headlamp so we can get a good view. And if we go to the front, we'll see more stacks. The perfect P platform. So, you cannot deny that the Caterpillar has cargo capacity to spare. Even I cannot deny that. And as everybody who knows me knows, I will do my best to take shots at Drake Interplanetary just because. I don't even need an excuse. The fact that they exist is sufficient. Now, this is kind of, last time I was here, I couldn't actually buy anything here. So it looks like somewhere along the line they finally made these concession stands work. However, I do feel compelled to mention that I do not see any Whammer's Burgers here. So I am still perturbed. I want my Whammer's Burgers. That said, you still can't buy any magazines. Admittedly, most of them, God only knows. Hitbox for the latest Star Villain update. Somebody out there is taking shots. Sign up and get a free P6LR. Yeah, sign up for that magazine. They'll give you a free sniper rifle. I guess it's not too hard to figure out what they tend to go for. Shield hacks, total defense for those like handguns. We've got fashion magazines and other fashion magazines. And of course we have your tabloids. Snatched by Kurthak, we reveal their message for humanity. Costigan's secret cult. Human sacrifice makes him young. What else? Lost my mind. Etam crisis. City breaks. If I could buy this magazine, I would buy this magazine. McClellan's slam addiction. I think it would be hilarious if the devs would replace those magazines every so often. Fashion magazines are for the origin pilots. You know, you're probably right on that. That does kind of feel like the origin client magazine type, doesn't it? I think it would be even more so for the origin passengers. So in order to get to the trade areas of Area 18, you gotta take the bus. Luckily, buses here at Arcor are not the wheeled variety, shall we say. Although I suppose I should have checked to see how long it would take for the next bus to arrive. Which is, you know, eerily similar to real life. 16 seconds, so the bus should almost be visible by now. There it is. So Lorville may have its trains, and New Babbage may have its monorails, but we get buses at Area 18. And to be fair, the windows are a lot cleaner than the ones at Lorville. And getting up front here will give us a pretty good view of the cityscape. Let's take a look at why. Even got the signs on the road indicating that this is the transit lane. So theoretically, you won't have to worry about accidentally slamming into oncoming traffic. Then we're going to rise up And you'll notice that we have a lot of Parkour insignia here, but we're also going to start seeing advertisements all over. Adria Falls Apartments, Casaba. I'm pretty sure somewhere around here I saw a Crusader Industries logo. Never noticed the transit lane markers. Cool. Yeah, you gotta give the environment artists this. They do a hell of a job on making the place feel real with the little details. Store all. I presume that's for long-term storage. Center Mass, our favorite place to buy weaponry, whether it's for ships or for hand weapons. Astro Armada, the ship store at over at Arkport. And here we are at Parkour Plaza. Now, for those unfamiliar, I do want to point out this area over here. This leads to the convention center, but as you will see, it is closed for development. I want to tell you that they are lying to you. It is already developed. This is where you would go to the Invictus Flight Week last year. This year is happening over at New Babbage, same place they had the expo. But Invictus Flight Week had been done here. And I was hoping that would be here again so I could show it off during a stream that I didn't have to delete from humiliation. Oh well, such is life. Maybe we'll see the convention center here again one day. Maybe. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. Because I'm bitter. Wish it was at Area 18 again. I agree. The only reason I can figure is because they wanted to maximize the use out of the convention center that they put in at New Babbage. I would be willing to bet dollars to donuts that when they do the expo for this year in November, I will bet any amount of real money that's going to occur in the new landing zone of Orison. Count on it. Okay, we're at the trade area, and we're going to make use of these lovely terminals at the Trade and Development Division to sell off the stuff I've got on board Caterpillar. I'm also carrying something on me personally. I should look into that. I think it's probably water or something like that. Unless I died. Yeah, we did just have the convention at New Babbage, and apparently we're going to be having the Invictus there as well. I just hope that they remember to put rack in for bomber jackets like they did last year for the Invictus, because I'm still bitter about losing mine. Now, I was not paying too close attention to how much money I'm going to make on this run. If you go by percentage of how much money I have, it's probably not much. But at the same time, for someone who's flying smaller ships, I hate it when they do that. I'm never 100% sure if it sold my inventory when I do that. Okay, it worked. So, I've gotten a little closer to the 3 million mark, so I didn't do too badly. Oh yeah, I wanted to see what the heck I was carrying in my personal inventory. Oh, that's because I'm hitting the buy button. Duh! I is smart. Okay, it looks like a med pen. Looks like I am carrying water on me, and apparently my med pens are now being considered as tradable materials, although not tradable here, obviously. How much water am I carrying? Let's take a look at my inventory. Oh, I'm carrying apparently a big honking thing of water here. I'm carrying 62% of my capacity here, which seems very odd for med pens, so it's got to be all water. Okay, so I've got 3 bottles of water here. I think they need to rethink the size on this thing here, though. Just saying. Although what I could do is I might be able to move it down to leg storage. There we go. Because nothing says class and sitting down on a water bottle and having it leak all over the place. No, I didn't have an accident. Well, I mean, I did have an accident, but I didn't have that kind of accident. Yes, we're all about the sophisticated humor here at this stream. Okay, I'm going to take a quick glance at my Moby Glass here for a second there. I saw a couple things popping up on my Moby Glass here. I'm just kind of curious to see what I've got rolling for. Grab and go. A couple things from Clovis Darnley. And Constantine Hurston complaining. Alright then. Let's consider. We've done some trading. You know what? Let's do this mercenary contract for Clovis. Well, I've never actually done this. Let me be more specific. I've never done this successfully. But I think it's interesting enough to try out, and why not give it a shot again? So we'll accept the offer for Mana from Heaven. The bad news, though, is it's taking place over at Hurston, which means I gotta fly back to Hurston. Well, you know, it's not like I have a timer going at the moment. That comes later. In the meantime, I'm going to hoof it back to the bus stop. Do run, run, run. Oh no, the bus is going to leave without me. Made it. With seconds to spare. There's a Dumper's Depot advertising. Another Whammer. Is that Whammer? No, that's Whammer. Kasaba again. North Star. I think they're a storage. I can see Platinum Bay down there. Stegmans, which I'm not 100% sure what they are. I've seen it before, though. I feel like I've seen it before. City Lights? I guess that's, I don't know, sounds like a bar. Misk? There we go. There's a manufacturer I can respect. There's the Crusader Industries logo. And I'm presuming what I'm seeing up top there was some sort of advertising as opposed to, I don't know, graffiti. Still in my transit lane. See, we have on both sides of the road here. Ah! Well, okay. We're still attacked. It looks like our bus driver is trying to see if he can take out one of the drivers out there, but we're all still alive here. We're still alive. Despite their best attempts. I see they still have some of the election posters. A number of months ago, the player base was able to vote for the new Imperator, the new boss of the United Empire of Earth. The winner was Addison, represented by Progress, Education, Innovation, and Science First. I can't imagine why a bunch of computer geeks would vote that direction. Yeah, I voted for Addison too. I guess it wasn't too surprising given the anti-science attitude of a number of individuals in real life these days that might have caused a in-game reaction.
Please be aware that while in the Stanton system,
Okay, first things first. I'm claiming the Carrack, so I don't have to worry about that problem anymore. And I'm claiming the Pisces because I think I had the Pisces parked in my Carrack, and if the Carrack went, so did the Pisces, and I'm not going to fight this twice. There we go.
From transforming worlds to exploring
Claim my Star Runner, because I don't trust it. I'm pretty sure it was okay last time I checked, but I've been burned enough times lately. Anything else in unknown status? No? Good. Okay, next step. I need to get back to the good folks of Hurston. So I am going to skip the Drake manufacturer and go to a ship I can trust. The Freelancer.
Monitor your luggage at all times.
It is possible that I'm mildly trolling here. I regret nothing.
Want your company to be in good company?
I was hangar 2, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
Vertically integrated corporate
The good news is that
offers
getting
amenities such
out
as
of Area 18 should be simpler than getting in. Of course, it also occurs to me that whenever I've exploded at Area 18, it was usually because I was trying to leave. I'm not going to panic yet. If you wanted a real-life comparison for the Freelancer, I would be tempted to say UPS truck. Because that is basically what we're looking at here. It's got a long cargo bay. You can stack on boxes. This is basically a really big UPS truck, except it flies in space. And it has decent armament. Okay, menu. Now, the interesting thing about the Clovis thing, once upon a time, to get stuff from Clovis, you would have to actually physically meet him.
You are clear to launch.
But apparently the reputation system is dealing with that, shall we say. Because somewhere along the line it became available to me, and I shrug and go, okay. Do I want to be famous? Do I want to be famous? Oh, yes! Yes! I want to be famous. I never thought I would have this opportunity, and now I can be famous. Oops, that wasn't the link button. That was the ban button. I'm sorry. I screwed up. Oh well. An opportunity lost.
launch sequence completed.
Oh well. I've always been my own worst enemy.
Landing gear up.
Oh, I have no respect for bots.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Yeah, troll in chat. Yeah, I'm a little surprised actually. My Streamlabs should have stomped on that link, but I guess it didn't. Of course, I wasn't paying that close attention because my first instinct was slam the button. Yeah, well, no. Oh, it deleted the link before I deleted the message? Awesome. Streamlabs was doing its job. Who would have thunk it? Things go right. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the message. Yeah, I deleted the message. My general reaction upon seeing those things is, ban that sucker. I do not permit spam links in my channels here. I am not interested in seeing someone throw a scam link out there which will cause people all kinds of trouble in their lives. He dodged the bot by putting a space before the dot. Ah, that could do it. That could do it. Unfortunately for him, he was not able to evade my vigilance. Plus, he obviously didn't check my viewer base. Otherwise, he'd have realized that the only person who might possibly be influenced it would be you and I, most likely, and anybody else who happens to be watching. I'm not going to shame anybody. Off to Hurston. Off to Hurston. I tried to pull out the banhammer, but you don't have one. Yeah, I don't have so much chat going on that I can't personally deal with these details. If I had, engaged conversation with like dozens of people and my chat flowed like water, then yeah, I'd probably have to start considering making moderators and stuff like that. But since I can usually count the number of chatters, much less viewers, on one hand, I usually don't have that problem. Which means that I am able to break out my own deluxe-sized banhammer and beat them severely over the head and shoulders. Plus, it gives me all sorts of entertainment to mock the guys as I do it. That said, I'm a little surprised because, I think it's been like weeks since I've seen one of those bots pop in and ask if I wanted to be famous. They clearly have not watched my previous streams. Alright, as I recall, I've got the cross-field drive on this ship, which means it's not the fastest, but it's also not the slowest, so we've got a little bit of time to wander around. The layout of the ship, well, like I said, UPS bus. I've got my bunks, 4 of them. I had 4 seats up front, 3 of which are effectively useless. One day the co-pilot will actually, have a meaning behind them, and God only knows about the 2 seats in the back. Unlike your average Drake vessel, this has restroom facilities, shower and stall, although none of them actually function at the moment. Which is weird because they function just fine on the Reliant series. They haven't done a gold standard pass on Freelancer yet, so who cares? It's too late to change ships. You've already documented my Drake cargo run. You can't stop me! No, I cannot pee off the side, but I can pee off the rear. Why am I answering that question? Okay, and the back end is basically just cargo areas, so, nothing fancy. Up top a turret. And it sounds like we're decelerating, which means we're almost to Hurston. And that means it's almost time to make our way towards our destination. Which has no quantum beacon, which means we will have to go the hard way. It's not the same. I'll stick with using the standard facilities as opposed to, using the Drake technique, or lack thereof. Alright, so the radar contact looks like it's on the other side of the planet, but it also might mean that I'm actually facing it. Let's bring up the Moby glass and see where things stand. Yes, it is on the other side, but it doesn't look like it's very far from another location. It is very close, in fact, to Thetis. Yeah, we're not going there. And besides, if you're the owner of the Caterpillar, you are probably not going to make use of that alternative. Eldridge? Thetis. I thought I had the map destination set, but apparently I didn't. But I can at least point at it and go. And this will be interesting too, because usually when I've gone here, it's been nighttime, and it's a very spectacular area in the nighttime. I mean, it is impressive. On the other hand, maybe it is nighttime over there. Maybe I'm going vertical as opposed to horizontal across the planet. Nope, it's daylight. Oh, if nothing else, it will be a lot easier for me to see what I'm doing. Anytime the quantum wants to end. Let's turn ourselves right side up, and we are 65 kilometers away and closing. Let's open the throttle a little bit. Now, the mission, in case you didn't have a chance to read it before, is we are going to retrieve a computer blade from a terminal on this crashed satellite. Let's go back to the accepted here. Hurston satellite has been ejected from orbit, crashed right into our laps. The prototype TDC-XX blade on board survived intact. And they want you to grab it and take it. But the problem is it has to be connected to an official Hurston server, and, well, there are other problems related. And we're not going to go too much detail because I don't want to take my attention off the ground too much, and mainly because I don't want to horribly die by crashing. It would be an embarrassing way to end this particular mission. Looks like I'm going to have to break you out of prison. Not necessarily true. I may be able to get away and clean my criminal record. I do have my ice picks. I'm pretty sure I have my ice picks. Besides, I've been doing too much clean living anyway lately. As you may imagine from Legend's comment, there is an excellent chance that I'm going to wind up with criminal status rating after this. Unless, of course, I completely flub the mission, at which point it won't really matter. Let's pull up a little bit. I'm sending a little too rapidly for a location that is a little too far. Of course, I might get lucky. It's perfectly possible that somebody will go to the location I'm at and kill everybody there before me, and I won't have any problem, and I won't have to worry about shooting anybody. It could happen. Now, the good news is I'm pretty sure I have decent shields on the Freelancer. Although, you know, I can't actually remember for certain, so if there's any turrets that are active, I might have minor issues. I hate it when it does that. False floor. The cloud cover at Hurston is ugly. Hey, Cap, bad news. All the ships in the game must be broken except the Freelancer. Gordon's down to his last choice. Keep on thinking that, Cap. Keep on thinking that. How are you doing today? Hope all's well on your end of the monitor. I am, even as we speak, getting ready to do a mission for a fellow named Clovis, who wants to grab some, highly illegal computer software. Not bad. Ready to relax. I approve of relaxing. In fact, I'm pretty relaxed myself, which I'm kind of surprised by because I was half expected to be loopy by now. I had my second vaccine shot yesterday afternoon, and I was expecting trouble. But as it turns out, I had no ill side effects, just minor ache in my arm, so nothing severe. But you never know, I may start babbling and gibbering at any moment. Thank you, Cap. And I wouldn't be too proud of that because like I said, in a couple weeks, I will be reluctantly forced to fly many such ships, despite my better judgment. Okay, time to cut the speed. Go to manual, drop landing gear. And you can see this place, you can see the satellite really took a hard hit. I mean, smoking like crazy. Let's fly through the smoke. Just because I can. Yes, you don't have to remind me of collision alerts. I'm well aware of the problems here. And now I need to figure out how to get to the blades. This may actually be easier than I thought. Apparently they must have multiple types of satellites here because when I've done this mission in the past, I didn't want to land on that spot. When I've done this mission in the past, the access terminal was on top of the stupid thing, and getting up there wasn't exactly a thing. Let's put it that way. This may be easier. I want to hear someone who mix it up a little. Tried one type for the first shot, the other one for the second. Keep the body guessing, you know? Alright, let's go out the side door. I don't think I want to try playing with the ramp. Ramps tend to be dangerous sometimes. Luckily, though, I'm not flying a Drake ship, so I don't have to use the ramp for the Cutlass, which 9 times out of 10 would break the ramp. Alright, here we are. So the next step is to go to the access panel and open sesame. And there we are. So now I need to retrieve the prototype. Now the problem here is trying to figure out which one of these guys is the prototype. Doesn't look like that one. Doesn't look like that one. Oops. Picked up anyway. Oh, I might be able to insert it back. Or maybe not. Okay, apparently this is a read-only thing, so blonk. Okay, I seem to have... Okay, there we go. Where's my cursor? Oh god, don't tell me I'm about to 30k. I seem to not have control over my keyboard. MSRs are the ones blowing up right now with the ramp. That's true. The Drakes, on the other hand, they just break their ramp. I can't move. Something is wrong here. I can access the mobiGlas. Oh, there we go. Maybe I got stuck on something. Okay. It's moving again. So let's look at the last one here. I have no idea which one of these is the prototype. Okay. Oh, hold on. What's this? $470. You know, I probably should have paid more attention to the... You know what? I'll just stow them all and... let's grab that last one too. Now you'll notice that now there's a timer. Tick tock, Mr. Wick. Tick tock. On the other hand, I can't actually stow this one, so it's just going to have to come with me the hard way. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I sure hope I don't drop it when I open the hatch here. And if I'm going to go through this abuse, I'd at least be able to, you know, like get paid. And we're just going to put this on the cargo grid at the moment. Okay, let's look at my inventory now. 6 to stow. Where are the server blades? I should have server blades here. Why does my personal inventory not show the server blades? Oh, they're mission items. I gotta pull them out that, don't I? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, we can stow that again. Thank you for that bit of advice there. pick it back up and hit 6. No, that third one does not want to stow, so we're just going to assume that that one down there is not the one I need, and that one of the other two are. May all my guesses be right. Why have I got 3? Because I couldn't tell which one of the ones were the prototype. I thought that might have a label on them, but you know, that would make sense. So, my next step is I need to connect the blade to the server. The server is at a location that is somewhere other than here. Nearest Hurston server is over here at HDSF Colfax. Now, as you might have noticed, it has the HDSF as opposed to HDMS, which means I am not going to any mining station. I am going to a place that is probably going to be a little upset with me when I arrive. It's also likely that they have weapon turrets available, which means I will probably have to shoot my way there. As you might also imagine, the folks at Hurston Security will probably be very upset that I do this. My heart bleeds. I don't get along with Hurston Security to begin with. So we are going to be doing some violence upon them. Hurston server. Which I find interesting because Hurston server there is not what I'm seeing on here. Where the devil is Hurston server now? Okay, we're at a different location. We're at Damaris, which again is another HDSF location. There we go. Ah! Pull up, pull up! Apparently I was pointed down a little too long while I'm going forward, and that's the kind of thing that causes all kinds of bad things if I'm not paying attention. Oh, that almost got ugly. There's probably a moral to the story here somewhere. Okay, cut the cruise control so that I don't start heading back to the ground the hard way. And here we go. Now watch, this will be nighttime. Because, you know, why would anything be simple? We're up. And we're down. And it is daylight, thank heavens. And that is the only good news here, because I'm pretty sure that HDMS Damaris is armed. And that means all sorts of potential bad things. Let's take a look at my ship equipment for a moment. Oh. Sorry, Cap, didn't see the invite there, which, you know, is nothing new for me. Equipment. There, I saw it that time. One of these soon, hopefully, they'll be brightening up the text on here so I can actually see them. No, I'm using the default heals. Yeah, I have a problem. Let's charge up my front heals a little bit because I'm going to need all the help I can get. Because if they have active turrets there, they will hit hard, and I do not have the best shields available for this ship, because I have them on other ships. The plan wasn't to fight. If I don't mind the CS group rating, more the merrier. Oh, someone's looking to get into trouble. Speaking of trouble, let's kick up my speed a bit. I'm taking a little too long on this. I just gotta be careful because, well, bad things are gonna happen. Let's put on my lock my guns too, because I'm probably gonna want a little. I can't trust the turret features. Let's see, down past. Oh, and it's getting dark too. That's not a good sign. Why could it not stay lit up for this entire mission? Or at least long enough for me to deal with the stupid turrets, which are undoubtedly going to start shooting at me at almost any moment. Wait a second. Somebody is here. Well, this could go one of two ways. On the bright side, it means that I probably don't have to worry about being shot at by turrets. If there's an Aurora parked here, then it's certainly going to be safe for a freelancer. I also may not have a problem with the interior guards, because whoever's there now is probably doing a good job on killing everybody inside. Which would also be a bonus, because that would mean I don't have to worry about getting criminal status for murdering everybody. That's all the good news. The bad news is, the person who's flying that ship may have an itchy trigger finger and, oh, well, I think all my problems just solved themselves.
Landing gear down. Landing successful.
Well, it's not a pretty landing, but you know, I'll take it. Okay, kill the engines, leave the shields on, because I'm an untrusting human being. At the moment, I'm going to leave that card where it is, just in case it turns out to be the one I need. And we are going to run for the shelter here. It's so windy out here that I cannot tell for certain. Okay, good. I am pointing in the right direction. Who knew? Now, I have no idea if there's any hostiles in here. I mean, just because that guy went in here and got out doesn't mean that there's nobody in here. For this reason, I am going to be prepared. Ah, dagnabbit, stop doing that. I hate it when I drop weapons like that. Ow, ow, ow. I could just rush in, but you know. Well, all those dead bodies is a good sign. All the same, I'm going to at least pay a little bit of attention because, yeah. Just because some of them are dead doesn't mean all of them are dead. Oh, whoa, down. There are a lot more people there than I figured there'd be. That was probably a mistake. Come on. Okay, this is not going well. Okay, despite this really rough transition, it does appear that I have survived. Oh! There are a lot more people here than I thought. lot more people than I thought. Gee, Merry Christmas, I tell you. Okay, now that I've more or less slaughtered everybody in my way, yeah, I'm in trouble. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Except here, free Twitch rep. Well, it looks like I missed the random moment there. I want to say that the place where I'm supposed to put it is somewhere in here. Oh, it's in this area. I'm not seeing anything there. There it is. Okay. Eject. Place. Alright, protect data transfer. Let's get the gun with ammo. Let's put in a fresh clip. Let's try to put in a fresh clip. Thank you. 30 seconds for the transfer to succeed. And after that, I get money. I think the guns are still dropping when swapping sometimes, aren't they? Yes, they are, Cap. That happened to me literally going in here. Plus, I forgot that I didn't have any C-54 ammo. I stocked up heavy on the assault rifle ammo because of a mission I was doing a couple days ago. 2, 1. Oh, what just hit me? Excuse me. I'm still dying. That's okay. I got paid. Who cares? Let's holster the guns and I'll just respawn at Parkour. I don't know what got me like that, but you know what? It doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, I completed the contract. I got the money. Ah! Twitch, twitch, twitch. I am willing to accept these little setbacks, even though I'm going to be setting myself back all the way at Parkour. Because in the end, I got paid. You missed it? Yeah, I don't know what happened either. The thing completed, and all of a sudden I took some damage behind me and I started dying. How something get behind me, I'm not entirely sure, since the only thing behind me was the server. Nobody was in the hallway. Nobody was shooting. So I am waking up in the pleasant environment of the habitation unit at Parkour. With my flashlight on. It's cool, you can jump on the red with me and Cap. Yeah, Skynet got me. Yeah, that would explain a lot. I inserted into the server, the prototype took over and said, we cannot allow any witnesses, and did me in. Evil. Christ, you're closer than I thought. You guys are at our core too, aren't you? I'm seeing you as 13 kilometers away. That can't be right. Do I want to do the prison break on stream? Are you in prison? You don't look like you're in prison. Either that or your party markers are really whacked. Which I can't walk. Jeez, and I took 5% damage from that too. Jeez, what the hell is with me? Oh, the transport break. Yeah, we're good with that. We will extend a bit while we engage in some horrible violence. But of course, first I gotta get this spaceport. Do run. I really ought to stop doing that because, you know, I don't want the DMCA people to have a fit. At the ship terminals. Okay, well that simplifies matters. I am, even as we speak, heading down the stairs to get to the bus. I also need to reset my med pens because I guess I was pulling out empty med pens. Let's see, 25 seconds. That's enough time for me to at least get the med pens to be enabled. Med pen? Oh gee, there was a med pen listed here. Why wasn't it working?
City Flight asks that you be courteous to your fellow passengers.
Apparently I had a med pen operational and it didn't save my life. I am a little perturbed.
Share space with other travelers. Remember, we're all taking this journey together.
In the bus. Caterpillar prison break mission, free the prisoners. Well, free most of the prisoners.
Stand clear of the doors.
Oh, my Delphi is giving me something. Probably telling me that my reputation with Covis Tharneely has improved slightly. Because I got his mission done even though I died. Clovis is a clerk at the Reclamation and Disposal of Lorville's main salvage yard, with a reputation for being highly educated and a bit of an erudite. It is unclear among his clients why he works in such a remedial position. So there's that. Are my med pens enabled? My med pens are enabled. Good. That much is right with the world. Throwables. Let's get my grenades back online. Just in case. And I'll rearm ammo once I'm on board the ship. We're getting a little too close to the spaceport. And here we go. Making the switch over from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, praying that the bus driver doesn't try to collide with the vehicle.
Now arriving.
And here we are at the Encore. And apparently I cannot stay on my feet to do anything. Why do I keep falling over like that? Whoever put that logic in this game should be flogged. I mean, sheesh. Plus we'll be flying another Drake ship on the screen. Wait a second, is this one of Cap's ships? Because, you know, Cap's ships do have this habit of trying to murder me. Oh god, he's got the bear helmet. The bear helmet there was,
Stanton's capital of commerce.
shall we say, a reward for doing certain missions during Alien Week. No, it wasn't Alien Week. Well, maybe it was Alien Week. It was around the Halloween time. Plus, I think you could also purchase some on the RSI site, but I have too much self-respect to get a helmet like that. Look this way, legends. Let's give the viewership at least something disturbing to
And welcome to
gaze upon.
Memorial Spaceport.
No, your other direction.
Area 18 metropolitan area. We hope you have safe travels wherever
There it is.
your destination may be.
Is that not a thing of nightmares? Take a look. It will haunt your dreams. I'm protesting losing my paladin helmet wearing the bear head. Oh, you know, that's always an option.
Thank you for
Of course, if we're going to be doing some
Stanton's
criminal
capital.
scuzzy activities, then I should be wearing a criminal scuzzy looking helmet.
Beneficial and prosperous stay.
Da 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 da. So instead of wearing this classy Orc Mark 10, why am I wearing the Orc Mark 10? That's not what I'm usually wearing these days. And I could go with the Butcher, which is also up. Looks like I have to get on the ship first. The Cutlass Red, which is arguably the only good ship Drake has ever manufactured. And honestly, it's less because of the ship and more because of... Yes, this is Drake manufactured, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, Drake interplanetary workmanship at its finest. You can't even get on board this ship without it exploding. Yeah, unfortunate timing indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Drake Interplanetary. Otherwise known as, you get what you pay for. I mean, usually I expect the autopilot to murder us. These guys set it up. Ah! The elevator's trying to kill me. What the hell is with the feet these days? Yes, did I sabotage it? We'll never know. We'll ignore the fact that, everything we're doing is being streamed at the moment, so, my opportunities have been few. I will say, however, that if I could have, I would have. I have no idea what the hell is going on here. It's like my personal gravity seems to be unaligned with everybody else's personal gravity. Every time I transition from an elevator, I seem to fall on my face. Incidentally, you can be very sure that I will be highlighting that clip of that Drake exploding for future posterity. You can make your screenshots of me flying the Drake Caterpillar. Or I can video clip the moment of that Cutlass Red exploding just by boarding. I think I'll entitle it Typical Drake Manufacturer. On the bright side, I should have some time to start equipping the ammo clips now. I got way luckier than I deserved on that fight.
With convenient connection trams across all major commercial areas of Arcot, City Flight is business travel made simple. Tram now approaching.
Ammo looks like it's all here, but I don't really believe that. I'm gonna die before I get to the ship because I keep falling on my face.
Tram now leaving the station.
I swear I looked on the issue council for this and didn't see anything, but I might have to open my own. I think Chorus has this on this one. Legend, the Drake ship did literally just blow him up. I tell you, they know. They know my feelings towards Drake Manufacturer. If they think that's going to make me speak any kinder of them, they have a long way to go. Let's get the spare S71 clips for my primary. And we'll slap on those C-54s. Now, submachine guns, I think, are going to be a problem in the future. Because, as you may or may not be aware, they're going to be physicalizing a bunch of things in this game very soon. Physical inventory is going to become a thing. And you go through submachine gun ammo like lightning. So I think ammo use is going to be less emphasis on the automatic weapons, unless it has an insanely huge clip, and the C-54 does not have an insanely huge clip. That's why I had mostly S71 ammo on me during that Clovis mission, because I was trying to get away from the habits of using the submachine gun unless absolutely... Seriously? unless absolutely necessary. Don't blow this one up. Well, that depends. Is it a Drake ship? Because, you know, those will probably explode all by themselves. Well, y'all have gone somewhere, but I have no idea what pad you're on, so I may have to guess. I mean, if I hit every button in the elevator, I'm bound to hit the right hangar sooner or later. Pad 3, okay. That makes life simple. You know, I'm beginning to think that maybe I should just sit this out. I'm going to keep falling over every time I transition. I'm beginning to think that maybe I did blow up your ship. Let's see what happens when I get on board this ship. If it blows up, at this point, we can be pretty sure that's something going on with my avatar here. Okay, I think we can rule out the possibility of it being the ship. As much as I hate to give that ship any credit whatsoever, I cannot ignore the fact that it happened twice as I boarded the ship. Of course, I can't blame it for trying to be responsible for killing me, so, you know, I could probably throw the blame in that direction. Cora the ship killer, yeah. Oh yeah, well, you know what else? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to probably log the character and re-log in and hopefully fix whatever gravity problem he seems to be having with falling over after every moment, because I'm pretty sure that this is related. So we are going to exit the menu. And hope that going back in will... Well, no, character reset probably won't be the problem because, you know, I've had this happen before. I certainly haven't reset. Although I haven't had the exploding ships before. That's new. And interestingly enough, it's still only Drake ships. So, you know, that's still a thing. Let's clear the inactives. And then we'll see about getting back into the server and see what happens. And maybe when I'm going back to the server, maybe, just maybe, I won't be tripping over my feet and having weird gravity things happening. Yeah, you say you're full, not full, but then you say you're full, you liars. There we go. Let's see what happens here. You need to take a real ship, Cap, like a Carrack. Bet a Carrack would explode. Although it would be hilarious if it did. So basically, it's going to go like this. If I can get out of the bed and the habitation unit and onto the bus without falling on my butt, then I will be safe to travel with. If I do fall on my face again, that is a sign for me to end the stream, because there is no way I'm going to be able to work with you on any of this stuff. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, heaven knows, it's not it would not be as if I haven't streamed the Prison Break before. Let's see if it will bring me in where I can stand up, walk, run, without falling over my feet. Because it feels like the floor and where my feet are not being properly aligned when I do anything. So, here we go. The big moment. I'm still on my feet. We are still a go. claimed the first one I blew up. The red is ready again. Well, it's nice to see they've got good claim times. I need to get fix my chat there. Party, manage, color. No, not that color. This color. Alright, this is a good sign. This is a very good sign. I've gotten off the elevator and I'm still on my feet. I think that the next time I experience this sort of thing, you folks are on, I think what I'm going to want you to do is, before we get aboard anything, to take a look at my character and see if there's anything weird about him, like say if his feet are underground or something like that. Because I really feel like it's almost as if my feet aren't aligned with the floors. Because I keep tripping over something. Oh, they're going to do it to me again, aren't they? No, you don't. Haha! Got on board. Apparently I had more time than I thought. Alright. Let's see where my equipment is now. Did all that get saved before everything went to hell? Oh, I'm still missing an S-71 clip. Not that one. That one. Anytime it wants to finish saving would be just peachy. I'm in a hurry. And I still need to put on the appropriate helmet, but I think I'd like to get on the ship first. I think I've delayed Captain Legend more than enough on their desperate attempt to free those poor innocent prisoners. Did they put you back in the same hangar? You still in hangar 3?
Now arriving.
Yeah. This is the official Drake hangar. We're used to having parts of Drake ships littered all over the place in this hangar. I have a good feeling about this. I might, just might, be able to get on board the ship without it exploding.
For the latest travel information, be sure to check the departure and arrival
You
logs
first legend.
conveniently located throughout the spaceport.
Ah. Profiles and courage right there. We're going to let Korth go first. I'm going to get on board. I'm going to close the hangar door. Back up. Die, Drake ship! It just kicked me out. Drake ships don't like me. Oh, come on. Didn't the med pen do anything? Fine. If he's going to play it that way, I might as well take advantage of the fact that I've got med beds here. That's right. If you're injured, medbeds aren't just a respawn point, but they will also heal injuries. At least for now. Medical gameplay is still in motion, shall we say. Okay, and save up another one of those med bends, and let's swap out our helmet now, because after all, if we're going to be nasty criminals, we might as well have nasty criminal looks. I can do nasty criminal looks. And now I am ready. Ready to do violence. To give you a better look, I am wearing the Hill Horror helmet from the Halloween event. Something that feels more horrific than even Teddy Bear from Nightmares. Given the choice, I much prefer this one. I mean, there are other equally horrific helmets out there, but that's where I'm going. And it looks like Cap has decided to follow suit with his helmet. So, we are a bunch of horrific people here. Oh, no, he's gone even worse than I thought. He's gone with his Star Kitty helmet. Dun, dun, dun. I really need that dun, dun, dun noise for hotkeys somewhere so I can have that on here. Truly a thing of nightmare. Fear him. Fear the kitty. I need a stream deck there. That's a little bit more than I'm willing to bother with, honestly. And yes, Cap is demonstrating that the Cutlass Red is the one Cutlass, the only Cutlass, that has restroom facilities. Don't look, I can't go anywhere. Yeah, there are some things that I don't think it would be proper to inflict upon my Twitch viewership. If the teddy bear was one thing, the Star Kitty was one thing, but oh, let's not go there. The stuff of nightmares indeed. So, for those curious where we are going, we are in the Parkour system, and we're going to do a prison break from a caterpillar. Which, it occurs to me, I don't think I actually have on my mission list because I had to log off and log back in. So if one of you would be so kind as to reshare that mission with me. I would greatly appreciate it. I mean, heaven knows, it's always entertaining just killing off people for giggles and all that, but it's always nicer to be paid. Yes, if you would do me a favor, Cap, and reshare that mission. Ah, there we go. Thank you. I'm guessing Legend says, you have a gun out. Too slow. So now that we have that in hand, in Parkour, there is a mission offered by a contact by the name of Twitch that involves rescuing a bunch of prisoners. Now you may ask, are these prisoners legitimate prisoners, or are they simply political prisoners because they've irritated somebody? The answer is yes. Oh goody, Cap wants to jump out and see what it's like to impact Parkour at high velocity. But we'll leave him out on the other side of the airlock for now, shall we? One of these days, they'll have everything in here affecting, so being in the airlock and opening up the space is going to be a bad thing. In any event, these prisoners are most likely unfriendly people, especially since you have a side mission where if you figure out which one of them squealed, you've been given permission to murder them. So, this is clearly a mission where the main goal is to kill them all. Although, technically speaking, did they ever fix the part where you could sneak up on them and just knock them out? Because there was a little bit of a problem in that mission a while back where you could just basically go up there and hit them unarmed and are you causing problems, Cap? I mean, above and beyond the normal problems. What the hell? Oh, we're under fire. I keep forgetting that there might be Guardian ships around here. Too bad we're in a Cutlass Red with no extra guns. Luckily, Legend should be able to take these guys on his own. And meanwhile, we're undoubtedly taking fire. I should have armed my railgun and just take out people flying behind us with it, or the missile launcher. So much for going in quietly. Yeah, smooth move there, Legend. Antagonize everybody around. Yeah, you know what? You may enjoy being out there exposed to enemy gunfire, but I think I'd rather not. Oh, something blew up, and it's not us, so I'm presuming. On the other hand, everything is flashing red in here, so we're probably taking some serious damage. I'm beginning to think that going EVA would be the smarter move here. Going on me, please. I'm trying to use the turret in here and it doesn't work. It's making this flushing noise. Kind of like our survival prospects. Now see, if we were in a freelancer, we would have won this battle already. Just saying. That still works. Let's take a look at our third-person view, since I can, oddly enough, do the third-person view while I'm sitting on the can. Where we can see how Legend's exceptional marksmanship is doing all kinds of damage to that ship. There we go. Bits and pieces. Oh, and unfortunately, there's yet a third ship that apparently is still a problem. Looks like it was just a fighter, though, so it kind of turned into cloud vapor pretty early. Don't see any major damage on the surface of the ship, which is kind of surprising. I thought wear and tear was a thing. Of course, if you're talking about a Drake ship, who could tell? So, we are coming up to the enemy transport, which is, ironically enough, a Drake Caterpillar. And he looks like he's getting ready to murder the guys with his ship weapons, as opposed to going out to engage. Going in quiet is a bust. No kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Obvious. Actually, what I really want to do is use this one. Usually I use sniper rifles for long distance shooting, but when I'm going with a team, or I'll tend to go with the assault rifle. Plus, the P6LR sniper rifle doesn't seem to have the same kick that it used to have. It used to be that if you went on the sniper rifle, if you got one shot on the head, the target was dead. But that doesn't seem to be happening so much anymore. What the hell? I have a feeling that I'm desynced with people. Because I don't even see the transport. Like, at all. Oh, there it is. I'm an idiot. Oh, Drake ships look alike. Now, while Legend goes up the front, I'm going to take a look at the side. After all, any opposition is going to be looking for a frontal assault. Whereas I'm going to be perfectly willing to take them out from the sides. But it seems that the side guys here are already dead. Ow. Okay, that's not good. I appear to be stuck. And not in a good way. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, there we go, finally. Some floating guns. Oops, I hear fire behind me. You guys, I hate to break it to you, but I think some of the prisoner cells have already been blown up. Let's hope none of them are involving our people, man. Still a security guard in here. Which means somewhere in here there's somebody still breathing. Somebody in this caterpillar is still alive. I mean, aside from us, obviously. But you know, I'm not seeing any living bodies. Is somebody shooting at the cutlass? Oh, cripes, there's an enemy ship out here. Yeah, bad news, Legend. We may not have a ride out of here much longer. I hope you left the shields up. It's not letting me, I cannot swap out my, movie glass gear. That's not good. Okay, everybody I'm seeing here is... Oh, hi there, guy. Problem solved. for a minute there, I didn't think I was going to kill anybody. Now, let's see if I can get the stupid mobi-glass working now. No, maybe I have to holster the gun. I cannot get rid of my gun. Okay, well, we continue to have a minor problem. Well, the good news is the cutlass is still there. If the enemy fighter pilot were any good, we'd be in trouble. Where are you? It's a mantis, it looks like. Yeah, this thing is not going to get through their shields. If my mobi-glass would function for... Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we can make things more interesting. Let's swap out my nice, polite rifle there with an Animus missile launcher. Do I have any spare clips for the Animus? No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Well, this just got more interesting. All right. Time for what I would like to consider serious entertainment. Now, where's my target? So far, no good. I think that sucker's still alive. Oh dear. That didn't... That was not a good thing. Did not expect that. Okay, so we're obviously not going to be paid for that mission. I have not yet given up on the utility of the Animus missile launcher. Oh. Oh, there's another ship out here. Good lord, how many of these things are there?
Attention, fugitive. You are wanted for crimes. Can't believe I'm going to be the one to take down a big-time criminal like you.
Oh, looks like we have a lot of people who have decided to join the party.
Backup's inbound. You're in trouble now.
Yes, I'm definitely in trouble, guys. Let's see, Valkyries. My, they really have gotten all out, haven't they? Well, as with many other operations by the Eternal Riders Org, this is likely to end in a very predictable manner. Oh, is that my last clip? No, it wasn't. Good. And I can see that I'm racking up the crime stat here. Let's see. Where are my targets? Oh, they're all gone. No, they're still around here. There we are. Out again. The problem with the missile launcher is it only has 3 shots, and the 3 shots are pretty rapid firing, which makes it very disappointing when they don't cooperate. Maybe I should have stuck with the railgun. I just don't have the ammo for the railgun right now, whereas I do have the ammo for the missile launcher. No, that's Legend. I don't want to shoot Legend. Well, usually I don't want to shoot Legend. I have no idea if these missiles are even hitting. And adding insult to injury, it doesn't seem to be putting all 3 of those clips when I load them up here. Oops, not that. For those just joining, in case you're wondering what the heck is going on here, me and a couple of the folks in my org have attempted to rescue a bunch of prisoners, well, rescue being maybe not the right word, a bunch of prisoners from a prison transport in a Caterpillar. Unfortunately, that seems to have gone poorly for us. I guess that's the kind way of putting it. It has gone poorly. And now we are engaged with Hurston Security, who have taken it upon themselves to be the goody-goodies that they are and cause trouble. Oh, I see that Legend is now 22 million kilometers from me, which either means he's over in Klesher. And meanwhile, I am sitting... Is that still a target? That's still a target. Alright, Valkyrie, you want that? You want some? Come get some! Yes, Korath is indeed alive out here, because Korath is EVA, and is probably going to have a very bad end any time now. I am definitely burning through my supply of missile weapons, and yes, I have done it. Unlike you, pikers, I have crime stat 5. That's the difference between trying to take out somebody in a starship and standing out here chucking missiles from a missile launcher. Where are you, Valkyries? I'm not done with you. But perhaps they are done with me. Because it suddenly occurs to me that I no longer even see the Caterpillar wreckage. Which means I am all alone in space, floating out of nowhere. Oh wait, no, I found the wreckage, or at least I found the dead bodies. Maybe I can loot some of them. The first bounty hunter that comes for me is going to be awfully surprised. Yeah, God breaks out of prison, Korath. Yeah, there might be a little bit of a problem with that plan. Well, I certainly have no shortage of possible weapons to take. Let's see. But none of them are missile launchers. Well, the best thing here is I can float out here and nobody will know which body is me. And you know, this feels like a good place to end the actual stream. I'll probably still be online in the game for a bit because, you know, I just gotta see how this wraps up. But I think it would be a little boring to watch people. Yes, I could backspace and spawn a Grim, but I'm intrigued by the idea of a bounty hunter coming for me, looking for a ship, and suddenly being hit by the Animus missile launcher. I find that prospect appealing. So, thank you all for watching. Invictus starts next week. It starts on Friday, but I will be streaming on Saturday from 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. As you may have guessed, sometimes I go a little bit longer than that. I also stream Star Trek Online Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Again, depending on timing and situation. I thank everyone for watching, whether you are watching live or on the YouTubes from the archives. I hope I was vaguely entertaining. Kevin knows I try to make the streams entertaining as I can. And I think that today I might have succeeded a little bit. In the meantime, thanks again. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.